running from social workers, worries about waking up, and a debate over facts in an Oscar-winning movie. Michael Oher's real life is a far more tragic tale than its big screen portrayal. Michael Oher seized control of his own narrative in 2011 when he published his autobiography, I Beat the Odds, From Homelessness to the Blind Side and Beyond. He details what it was like growing up in Hurt Village, a poverty-stricken housing project in Memphis. His mother, Denise Oher, struggled with drug addiction and couldn't provide adequate care for her 12 kids as a single mom. This meant Michael and his siblings had to learn how to survive on their own. When Denise left for days at a time and locked her children out of wherever the family was staying, the Oher siblings knew she was spending what little money they had on drugs. So they were forced to rely on the hospitality of friends for shelter and food. Oher wrote, "Begging and bumming was just a way of life."
My back was against the wall all my life. From the time I was 3 years old, my first memory is being homeless.
It was a regular occurrence for the Ohers to get kicked out of their residences, leaving them homeless. At one point, Michael, his mother, and 6 of his siblings had to spend an entire month cramped together in a car when they had nowhere else to go. But this wasn't their worst living situation. Oher recalled, "We were homeless and living under a bridge for a couple of weeks. That was pretty awful." Michael gives his mother credit for providing for the family when she was sober, but went on to write about how much it would hurt to see when his mother relapsed back into her addiction. Michael Oher came to deeply distrust social workers, fearing they would separate him and his siblings. He explained in I Beat the Odds, "We didn't want to lose the one thing we had." So the Oher children came up with a game plan. They fled whenever they saw social workers outside their home. This ploy eventually failed, and Michael felt like he had let his siblings down when they wound up in the foster care system. In addition to keeping him apart from his siblings, living with foster parents was a painful reminder of something Oher lacked, a parent capable of caring for him. One of his foster parents was a woman who had biological children, which didn't help matters. Oher shared, "The way she looked at them and at us foster kids was tough for me to deal with." Oher was allowed occasional visits with his siblings, but this caused him even more anguish, and he wrote that he would cry himself to sleep wishing he could be with his siblings more often. Oher struggled with feeling unloved and even started running away from his foster homes around age 8. When he showed up at his mother's, she sometimes made him leave, but on occasion, she allowed him and his siblings to stay with her. Oher summed it up by writing, "That's all I wanted, to feel like I belonged, instead of feeling like a burden." Michael Oher's older brother, Marcus Oher, was just 10 years old when he became a father figure for his younger siblings. In I Beat the Odds, Michael wrote that his brother would try and make sure that all of his siblings went to school, had food, and brushed their teeth. Michael never had a relationship with his biological father, Michael Jerome Williams. Williams was in and out of prison and had very few interactions with his son. One of those rare occasions stands out to Michael, who recalled in his book, "Once, he gave me a few dollars when he stopped by to visit my mother, and I thought that was pretty special." When he was in high school, Michael learned of his father's murder. According to the Blindside Evolution of a Game author, Michael Lewis, Williams's body had been dumped over the side of a bridge. Lewis wrote that Leigh Ann Tuohys, who, along with her husband Sean, had taken Michael in, consoled her young ward by pointing out that there was an upside to the death. Williams wouldn't be looking to cash in on his familial connection to Michael once he started making money as a professional football player. Michael suffered another loss in 2007 when his brother, Delwan Oher, was killed in an automobile accident. As for his mother, Michael revealed that he was estranged from Denise Oher in a 2009 USA Today interview, saying, "For someone to keep doing the same thing, which got all of her kids taken away, it kind of breaks your heart."
She loved all the kids, while we were growing up, and hopefully in the future, it'll be, where it once was.
The Blindside largely discounting Michael Oher's drive and determination to succeed isn't the only issue with the film in his eyes. In his 2023 book, When Your Back's Against the Wall, Fame, Football, and Lessons Learned Through a Lifetime of Adversity, Oher wrote that the movie erased a lot of his history and provided viewers with little insight into the hardships he'd already surmounted by the time the Tuohys entered his life. He said, "It made it look like I was sitting there waiting for a handout." According to Oher, the Tuohys are given too much credit for helping him in some instances.
Did it happen like that?
Almost. There was a few artistic liberties taken.
Oher explained that they didn't teach him how to play football, writing that he wasn't sure why he was portrayed as someone who needed to be taught how to play a sport he loved since childhood. There was also the matter of his intelligence. He wrote, I felt like it portrayed me as dumb instead of as a kid who had never had consistent academic instruction and ended up thriving once he got it. After he went pro, Oher told ESPN the movie was having a negative effect on his game. It had placed him underneath a microscope, and he was under an enormous amount of pressure to meet everyone's expectations. He said, "People look at me, and they take things away from me because of a movie." The Blind Side gave moviegoers a perfect Hollywood ending. Real footage of Michael Oher celebrating the beginning of his career with the Baltimore Ravens at the 2009 NFL Draft. As a member of the team, the offensive tackle would go on to win a Super Bowl in 2013, with the Tuohys in attendance. But pro football is no fairy tale, and Oher didn't get a happy ending. He suffered a toe injury while playing for the Tennessee Titans, and the team released him after one season in 2015. He then played for the Carolina Panthers from 2015 to 2016, but a concussion cut his NFL career short. Oher was cut from the team after over 9 months in concussion protocol. In 2017, before he failed the physical, he shared a since-deleted Instagram photo of 10 pill bottles and wrote, "All for the brain" in the caption. While Oher was hopeful that he would be able to return to the field, he told People in 2021 that it took about 2 years to get healthy. Out of all the adversity Oher faced in his life, he considers his concussion the hardest he's had to grapple with. The NFL alum said he got depressed and gained a lot of weight during his long recovery. On the Unbreakable with Jake Glazer podcast, he explained, "You're thinking about dying. You're just thinking about, is this going to be the night? Every night." But even when he felt hopeless, Oher found the strength to carry on. Michael Oher became a mental health advocate after reaching the realization that his difficult childhood took a major toll on him mentally. He told People in 2021, "I'm still traumatized, and I still deal with things that I dealt with as a kid." He revealed that talking about his past in therapy has helped him immensely, and he now knows that the way he was trying to deal with his childhood trauma before isn't healthy. Oher wrote in I Beat the Odds, "Sean Tuohy said one time that one of my strongest gifts was my ability to forget. He was right. I had needed to forget a lot of stuff in order to not get swallowed up by the hurt and sadness, but I had finally decided that the time was right for me to start remembering." One reason it was so important to Oher that he addresses mental health issues head on is that he wants to be able to help others struggling with similar trauma from growing up in poverty. His background has given him some valuable insight that few others in his position possess, so he's hoping that he can make a difference by sharing his story. On Unbreakable with Jake Glazer, he said this is why he decided to write his second book, When Your Back's Against the Wall. The former NFL star has also founded a charity called the Oher Foundation, which provides scholarships for disadvantaged children. In August 2023, Michael Oher filed a petition to have a conservatorship dissolved. He alleged that Sean and Leanne Tuohy misled him into believing they were adopting him when he signed the conservatorship, which was put in place before he began playing football at Ole Miss. He has claimed that the couple was then able to broker a deal to get paid for The Blind Side, while he received no money for a story being spun into what he's alleged is an inaccurate portrayal of his life. The text in the petition went on to allege, since at least August of 2004, conservators have allowed Michael, specifically, and the public, generally, to believe that conservators adopted Michael and have used that untruth to gain financial advantages for themselves. In 2010, Leanne landed a role as a designer on Extreme Makeover Home Edition, and she and Sean both appeared on an episode of Below Deck, so they've certainly enjoyed some perks in being portrayed as Oher's benevolent benefactors. Speaking to the Daily Memphian, however, Sean denied that his family directly profited from the movie and claimed that the conservatorship was to satisfy the NCAA. Sean was an Ole Miss booster, so he had to be Oher's legal guardian for Oher to attend school there. While it seems an adult adoption also would have accomplished this by legally making him a member of the Tuohy family, it's been argued that it wouldn't have given the Tuohys control over Oher's finances. In addition to feeling hurt and betrayed by the Tuohys' alleged deception, Oher is seeking fair compensation.